Hey, what's up everybody?
What's going on?
This is Tony.
And I'm Jenny.
And this is our top 10 tips for first-time cruisers. Yeah, so welcome to another cruise tip video. Today we're going to tackle an important subject, especially for folks that have never cruised before. These are 10 items that you want to keep in mind when you're a first-time cruiser. I know we're no longer first-time cruisers, and it was fun going through this exercise, thinking about some of the things that we learned, some of the things that we were worried about, and we think this list will help you learn from our trials.
That's right.
All right, I guess I'll kick it off. So the first item is make sure that you allow enough time to get your travel documentation, whether you're going to use a birth certificate or a passport. Birth certificates, the cruise lines, most cruise lines, they require an official birth certificate with a raised seal. So if you have to like order that from your state that you were born in, or if you're going to use a passport, both of those can take like 4 to 6 weeks to get that. So just check with the cruise line, make sure that you have the documentation that you need, whether you need an official birth certificate or a passport is required. And yeah, you can't wait till the last minute on that. The worst would be like a week or two out from your cruise and you still don't have your documentation. They're not going to let you on. So make sure you have, give yourself plenty of time.
Yes.
To get your travel documentation.
Number 2. Consider doing a parking cruise, or some people call it snoozing cruise. See how much it is to park at the port, and if you're gonna spend the night, you know, you might as well just do a snoozing cruise. Most of the time they give you a little discount and you save some dollars. But you know, I would check that out. It's nice too. You get the shuttle from the hotel and you don't have to fight that traffic or look for parking the morning of embarkation.
Yeah, when we were thinking about our first cruise, I thought the only option was just to go there and park at the cruise terminal. So yeah, when we did the park and cruise in Mobile, it was super easy. They had a secured lot where we left our car. It was like they had cameras and it was behind a fence. And so yeah, it killed 2 birds with 1 stone. We needed a place to stay for the night, and we needed a place to stash our car during the cruise. And it worked out great. So, and in Mobile, it was a big deal because there was a train that really made it impossible to get into the cruise parking. So if we had tried it, we might have been really late getting on our cruise.
Absolutely.
Park a cruise. Number 3, this is one we debated quite a bit, whether or not to get travel insurance. So when you book your cruise, the cruise line, they offer travel insurance. We didn't take it, but the closer that we got to our cruise, the more I was concerned that we might need it. Right. And so there's a lot of third-party options. We haven't got the cruise line travel insurance before, and we primarily got medical insurance because my big concern is being medevaced out or getting hurt on the ship. But you know, without being prescriptive and telling you what to do, I would say you know, it's like any other insurance, you know, the whole goal is not to use it. So you're laying out money for something that you might not use, but there is always that chance that you'll need it. So at least for us, we always try to consider insurance, and we've gotten it for our cruises. And
I mean, it's just a feeling of comfort.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't want to be on the ship constantly worried or getting off the ship at port going, oh, I really hope I don't get hurt here or get sick here. And
I hope Jenny or Tony, you know, I hope one of us doesn't fall. And
yeah. So I would consider the travel insurance.
Number 4, don't book a cruise until you get back. We learned that the hard way.
Yeah, so we booked our first cruise, and we booked a 4-day cruise. We'd never been cruising before, and we thought, okay, well, I don't know if we're going to get seasick. Right. I don't know if this is going to be any fun. I don't know if we'll like it. Well, you know, after I booked the first cruise, the Carnival $50 deposits went on sale. I went ahead and booked like 2 or 3 more cruises. So what I found out after going on a couple 4-day cruises is that it's really not long enough. You know, it did what it was supposed to do. It told us whether or not we would like cruising. But even when we went to Havana, Cuba, it was so quick, just in and out. I was tired cruising, right? Like I never got into relax mode just because it was a constant activity. And so I realized I would like to try a longer cruise. And so here I am with like 2 or 3 cruises booked, 4-day cruises. Yeah. And yeah, so the other thing about the some of these early saver deposits, you got to check the cruise line. They're not all refundable. So when they're giving you that cheap deposit, if you choose to cancel, sometimes you gotta take a hit. And but that's what we did. We thought it made more sense to cancel than to go on cruises that we weren't necessarily that excited about, and give us a chance to rethink it. So yeah, definitely rethink. Don't book that cruise until you know you like it, until you have some idea what you want to do.
Well, and for us, it worked out fine. The 4-day cruise, like you said, the first time, just to make sure that we were going to be okay cruising. And I agree with what you said. The second cruise of a 4-day, it just, by the time you were relaxed, you were leaving, and it really makes you sad.
Yeah. And for us, we drive, so it's like 2 days of travel, 4 days of cruise, 2 days of travel. It's almost as much travel time as the cruise.
As the cruise itself, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah.
You live and learn.
You'll be excited, but make sure that you go through the experience before you book the next one.
Yeah.
So number 5 is be prepared for the security experience at the cruise terminal. So first time we went through there, I didn't have any idea what to expect. It was very similar to going through airport security. You go through a metal detector, and basically you run your bags through an x-ray machine. So in our carry-on, we carried on a couple big Yeti type cups, except these had tops on them, and they were at the very bottom of our carry-on. Well, they flagged in security, and so security wanted us to empty out our carry-on so that we could show them that there was nothing in those cups and show them exactly what they were. They just look like a couple cylinders on the x-ray. So here we are. We're in the faster the fun line. They're running us through like, super fast. There's people behind us, and we're unpacking our whole carry-on and then trying to repack it and then try to carry everything else to get to the next station. So the next time we cruised, we were a little better. Of course, we used some packing cubes that made everything more modular, so that if we needed to take something out, we could easily pull it out and show it for security. We didn't take the big cups. We took different cups, and we actually had them on top this time, so that if we got flagged, we were able to show them. So just be prepared. It was super stressful in the moment, but I think if we'd have been more prepared, it wouldn't have been. And then when we went on our next cruise, it was a breeze.
Absolutely. We were those people holding up the line.
Yeah, that's the worst feeling.
And with Faster the Fun on the Carnival cruise line, that's supposed to be quick, and we were those people that held up the line. So don't do it.
Be ready for security. So it's yeah. So hey, and real quick, if you guys are new to the channel and new to us, please consider subscribing if you find cruising information helpful, of cruise tips, cruise vlogs. We even do some personal daily vlogs. It's a good time to hit the subscribe button with the notification bell on, and that way you're up to date when we put out all these cruise tips.
Yeah.
All right, back to the countdown.
Number 6, give yourself enough time around embarkation and debarkation time.
Yeah, especially like if you're traveling in, it's a big deal. I've heard of people try to fly in the morning of their cruise, and it's really risky. If you get hung up in an airport, if your flight's delayed, if something goes wrong for any reason, you risk kind of missing your cruise. They're not going to wait for you. There's thousands of people, and they won't accommodate somebody's flight being missed.
Right.
And so I say if you're our rule of thumb is if it's further than 3 hours, we're going to go the day before and stay the night. That way we can just get up, have breakfast, and go on our cruise. And then at the same time, at the end of the cruise, you got to be mindful of what time you get off the ship and what time you have to travel, especially if you're flying. So, there's certain advantages on certain cruise lines. They give priority members priority debarkation. We use Carnival's Faster to the Fun to be one of the first folks off of the ship. But basically, they let people off by decks. Right. And so if you're on a lower deck, you might not get off the ship until later in the afternoon. And so if you booked a flight at noon or at 1 o'clock and you're one of the last people to get off the ship, you kind of risk not making that flight. So make sure that you give yourself time around embarkation and debarkation for your travel.
Yeah, because that's just going to stress you out before you're, going on such a relaxing time.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It kind of relates to being prepared for security. You need to be prepared for the check-in process. With most cruise lines, there's an online component where you can go and put a lot of your information in that you can do well in advance of the cruise. Make sure that you do that, but most of the time there's also paperwork to print out and bring with you, whether it's a medical declaration or especially your luggage tags. So make sure you do all that in advance. Don't wait till you get there, till the day of. You know, you might end up being somewhere that doesn't have a printer. So while you have plenty of time at home, make sure you do your online check-in. Make sure you print out all the paperwork that you need, and make sure you print out your luggage tags. That way you can have them already attached to your luggage when you go to the cruise terminal.
Makes it quicker to get through there.
Yeah, you don't want to be standing there trying to, you know, again, you know, there's nothing wrong with holding up a line, but it's extra pressure, right? Like, you know, you're under the gun when there's people behind you and you're standing there trying to fill out paperwork. So, you know, at least for me, I don't want that stress. I just want to have that stuff filled out and make my check-in process smooth.
Number 8, don't forget to bring allowed drinks. I know on the Carnival Cruise Line, they let you bring 1 bottle per person of wine. So yeah, I mean, why not bring what you're allowed to bring?
Yeah, and you can also bring a 12-pack of soda. So that's Carnival, but check with your cruise line to find out what you can bring in your carry-on. Most of the time, you can bring some sort of wine and some sort of soda. Most of the cruise lines have moved away from allowing you to bring bottled water.
Right.
I think that might used to be a technique to sneak in alcohol. So I think they put an end to that.
Shame on you.
And most of the cruise lines now offer cheap water in the room. So that's something that you can do. Yeah, and so building on the last one of making sure you bring your allowed drinks with you on the cruise, number 9 is make sure you pre-order some things for the room. So you, in advance of your cruise, you can have water sent to your room, you can order a bottle of alcohol, you can have gifts, you can have room decorations. Most cruise lines have a variety of things that you can pre-order to be in your cabin when you start your cruise. So for us, we always make sure we have a couple cases of water. You can even stagger the delivery. So like on the 4-day cruise, we'll have a 12-pack delivered in the beginning of the cruise, and then we'll have a 12-pack delivered in the middle of the cruise. That way we're not like covered up in bottled water, and we can consume it and then get the next 12-pack. We did all that online. So again, part of the cruise experience is getting everything prepaid, getting everything organized, and that includes even things that you do for your room. So you can get your water and even maybe some chocolate covered strawberries for your lady, you know, all that stuff you can get in advance. So yeah, make sure you check out the website and see what you can take care of before you actually start your cruise.
And number 10, bring cash in low denominations to tip your porter and like maybe your shuttle driver.
So the real appeal of the cruise is having everything prepaid for, but there will be opportunities where you could use some cash, you know, tip your shuttle driver, tip the person, the luggage handler that's taking your luggage from you at the curb, the porter. You know, it never hurts to throw those guys a couple dollars. They're out there working hard for you. So, well guys, a bonus one is just relax and have fun.
Yeah, just enjoy the moment.
Yeah, don't stress out. It's you're going on vacation and it's your first time. We get that. It's not like any other vacation that you've been on, but you know, after you've done it once or twice, it becomes old hat. And really the main thing is just relax. I mean, for us, it's one of those vacations that once you get there and you get in the middle of it, a lot of the stress of traditional vacations melt away. What am I going to eat? Do I have enough money? Is everybody happy? What we found is that, you know, a lot of those questions you don't have to answer because you prepaid everything. There's a lot, but limited choices of things to do. So usually everybody can find something to do, and you're all kind of there together. So if you don't want to do the same thing, that's fine. You know, cool. You'll see each other in an hour. So it's very cool. So just relax, have fun, enjoy your time, enjoy the sea. But yeah. And
each other, whoever your shipmates are.
Yeah. So let us throw the question to you. How about you experienced cruisers out there? What are some things that you recommend for first-time cruisers before they get on board?
And even the first-time cruises, if you have any questions, comment below and, you know, we'll try to get some questions answered.
Yeah. And I think our list was pretty vast. We have a good amount of items for first-time cruisers while you're on the ship. And so stay tuned for that video. Mentioned it before. Make sure you subscribe so you can see when the new videos come out. And I'm also going to put a link to our cruise tip playlist. So we make these cruise tips all the way from cruise lingo to where you should book your cabin on the ship. So check out the playlist. I'll link it there, and I'll link it below. And also, if you like to talk cruising and you are on Facebook, you can join us at the Lido Loca cruising community. We have social media too, right?
We do. We're on Twitter and Instagram at Lido Loca. Should check us out there.
That's what all the kids are doing.
That's right. They tweet.
Well, that's it, guys. Top 10 things for first-time cruisers to do prior to going on your cruise. And again, I'm Tony.
And I'm Jenny.
And until the next time,
we'll see you on the Lido.